Tea production is one of the main sources of foreign exchange for Sri Lanka, formerly known as Ceylon. It has contributed over 1.5 billion and contributed 2% to GDP growth. It has provided direct and indirect employment to over 1 million people, and by 1995 had created 215,338 direct jobs on tea plantations and estates. In addition, tea plantations run by smallholders provide employment for thousands and have become the main livelihood for more than 10,000 families. Sri Lanka is the fourth largest producer of tea in the world. In 1995, Sri Lanka became the world's leading tea exporter rather than the producer, with 23% of world production, and is currently held by Kenya. The highest production was recorded in 2013 at 340 million kilograms, while in 2014 it dropped slightly to 338 million kilograms. The prevailing humidity, cool temperatures and rainfall in the central hills of Sri Lanka provide a favorable climate for high-quality tea production. On the other hand, tea produced in areas such as Matara, Gaul and Ratnapura has a high bitter taste due to the high temperature and high rainfall. In the lowlands, the tea plant produces a relatively large amount of biomass. One such tea is the Middle Eastern country Lulkindara state is the most popular. The tea industry was introduced to Sri Lanka in 1867 by James Taylor, a British tea planter who visited Ceylon in 1852. Tea cultivation has been popular under smallholders since the 1970s, developing as a commercial product in its history by 1880. Tea production in Ceylon had grown rapidly, and by 1888, approximately 400,000 acres, 1,619 square kilometers of tea had been cultivated, surpassing the area under coffee cultivation. Charles Henry de Zoysa became the first Sri Lankan to make tea in the early days. Plantations such as Poiston near the city, then the center of coffee cultivation, came to Sri Lanka in 1880 by Henri Randolph Trafford, purchased by people like, considered a pioneer of tea cultivation in Sri Lanka. He had little knowledge of coffee cultivation but considerable knowledge of tea cultivation. By 1883 he had become the resident manager of many of the estates that were then shifting to tea cultivation. By the late 1880s, almost all the coffee plantations in Ceylon had been converted into tea estates. At the same pace, coffee stores became tea factories in the face of prevailing demand. 1877, Samuel Cleland Davidson Sirocco tea dryer. 1880, John Walker and Company's tea rolling machine. By 1880, tea production technology had grown rapidly due to the essential tools that made commercial tea cultivation a reality. This commercial production reality was further confirmed in 1884 with the construction of the central tea factory at the Fairland Estate Pedro in Nuwara Eliya. With the growth of tea production in Sri Lanka, England built new factories and introduced mechanical innovation methods. Companies such as Marshall & Sons and Co. in the Ginsburg area of Lincolnshire, Tany's Machinery Co. in Birmingham and Davidson & Co. in Belfast have been supplying machinery to factories ever since. Cultivation and processing. Tea cultivation covers approximately 4% of the land area of Sri Lanka, covering more than 188,175 hectares, 727 square miles. At altitudes above 2,100 meters, 890 feet, the crop thrives and the plants grow at a rate of 1 centimeter per year. 100 to 125, 39 to 40 inches rainfall is required. Tea bushes in Sri Lanka are generally planted in conjunction with the contour planting method. The leaves and young leaves of the tea bushes are used for commercial production. What is usually done is to harvest the two apical leaves and the outer bud, which have the desired taste and aroma. Sri Lanka is one of the few countries that uses more manpower than mechanical technology to pluck tea leaves. If machines were used, a significant amount of mixing of mature leaves and twigs would only enhance the flavor of the tea. With experience, pluckers develop the ability to pluck leaves quickly, weighing between 15 to 20 kilograms, 33 to 44 pounds daily, and taking them to the nearest tea factory. Regular nutrition and attention are essential for tea cultivation in Sri Lanka. Also, systematic application of fertilizers to keep the soil fertile is an important part of the tea processing process. To encourage lateral growth, immature plants are cut with the help of a special knife at a height of 1 centimeter from the ground. Pruning is carried out at a height of 10 to 15 centimeters. The existing tea factories in the tea estates of Sri Lanka are a decisive factor in the quality and value of the tea produced. After the tea leaves are harvested, they are quickly taken to the collection sheds for weighing under high supervision and then taken to the factory. A typical Sri Lankan tea factory is a multi-story building built on the tea estate itself with the aim of minimizing the cost of plucking and processing tea leaves. The tea leaves are taken to the upper floors of the factory, where they are placed in a basin and subjected to a process called drying to remove excess weight from the leaves. Once dried, the leaves are rolled, ground, and separated, especially for the production of black tea, which acts as a catalyst for the enzymes in the leaves to react with oxygen in the air. Women plucking tea leaves. The tea leaves are rolled on brass or wooden tables and placed in an open cylinder above it. Once the rolling is completed, the tea leaves are placed on a table to begin oxidation with the surrounding heat and humidity. The quality, temperature and humidity control of the final product in the period of oxidation are all linked to a very close focus and extreme scrutiny. With the end of oxidation, the green tea leaves turn a shiny copper color. Once oxidized leaves, the affected leaves are inserted into a heated chamber to alter the natural properties of the enzymes in order to prevent byproducts. This heating process also affects the taste of the tea leaves. Again, temperature control is a key factor in determining the final quality, and in the end, the tea leaves appear harder and darker. Drying of tea leaves are sorted by size in Sri Lanka with the help of a net and divided into different categories according to shape and size. Artificial preservatives are not added at any stage of the production process, and tea of all quality, non-standard quality, is rejected regardless of its quantity and value. Finally, the weight is packed into tea bags and paper bags and subjected to a thorough inspection. It is then transported to the local market and to tea brokerage firms. During the export phase, samples of each shipment are tested by the Sri Lanka Tea Board and finally shipped worldwide. Cultivation area reform. The main tea growing areas are Kandy and Area in the central province, Bidula, Bandarawala and Hapatale in the UVA province, Gaul, Matara, Mulkirigala in the southern province, and Ratnapura and Kagal in the Sabaragamuwa province. Product reform. Ceylon black tea. Ceylon black tea is one of the most unique teas in Sri Lanka. It has a pleasant aroma reminiscent of citrus fruits. It is used with or without mixing and is grown in a variety of plantations that vary in altitude and taste. Ceylon green tea. Ceylon green tea is mainly produced at Assamese tea store. These are cultivated in a Dalgashina area in UVA province. Ceylon green tea is available in its entirety and is produced in the Assamese seed store and has a sharp bitter taste, maltiness and nutritional value. Salon White Tea. Salon White Tea, also known as silver tips, is expensive and the price per kilogram is significantly higher than other types of tea. These were first cultivated in the Nuwara area between 2,200 to 2,500 meters, 7,218 to 8,202 feet near Sri Pada. Tea cultivation. Harvesting and rolling are done using human labor and drying in the sun. It has a delicate liquid full of delicious pine and honey extract in a golden and coppery hue. Pure white tea is also grown at the Handanigoda estate near Gaul in the southern province of Sri Lanka. An old tea pack in Sri Lanka international market and price reform. Sri Lanka's tea industry continued to be successful until the 2000s. Despite the decline in the price of tea in every major tea exporting country in 2001, Sri Lanka continued to export a record 294 million kilograms, 648.16 million pounds in 2001, compared to 288 million kilograms, 634.93 million pounds in 2000, was able to remain the leader. World tea production in 2001 increased to 3.022 million tons, less than 3.331 million tons, but Sri Lanka's exports increased to $658 million from $595 million in the previous year. Today, however, Sri Lanka remains the world's largest exporter, lagging behind India and China in total output.
Late nights, been on long flights, stayed on strange time. It's a strange time in my life. I took a drive home to clear my mind, and I ended back at your spot for what felt like the millionth time. Reconnection from separate sections, cause we could meet in the middle with no sense of direction. If it's sun up to sundown, we mess around, we're way too involved now. I never wanted someone to disappear, to just get out of here. I never wanted someone to take control. I let you take control, I let you in too close. So baby, just go ghost. Now baby, just go ghost. Hey, you called, I let you in and 4 walls. Kept our secrets hidden, eating fruit so forbidden. Kept our secrets safe, cause the temptation, it felt like pure relation.